The Truth of Girls.
Hi everyone. Well, remember the Disneyland measles epidemic? Well, a lot of us figured that probably the result of this would be that the government would end up trying to force more vaccines on more people. And that is, in fact, how it's turning out. Now they're trying to pass a bill in California called SB 277, which would eliminate personal belief exemptions. And so far, this bill has cleared the first committee. By a vote of 6-2, the bill has passed one of the steps towards being made law. You can read the bill here for yourself. And you'll see that, in fact, it removes the personal belief exemption, which would include like philosophical and also religious exemptions. And the only one that's left would be medical. And they even have a list here of all the vaccines they'd like your kids to have for everything from elementary to high school, daycares, all of it. They have to be fully vaccinated. Diphtheria, hepatitis B, HIV, measles, mumps, whooping cough, polio, rubella, tetanus, and chickenpox, and any other disease deemed appropriate by the department. So maybe down the road they're going to want to have your boys vaccinated for cervical cancer. And there is one exception, which is for a home-based private school if all the pupils are residents of the household or are members of a single family. So you'd have to be homeschooling or there'd be no way out of this. And most of the people that are attending these hearings are against this bill. It's gotten intense. People have a lot of really strong feelings about this bill. Now, obviously, the argument is the same old, well, what's good, you know, for the public, the greater good versus the individual's right to their health freedom or their parental rights over their child's health. But you see, the people who are saying, don't pass this bill, a lot of them, it's because they have seen just how risky vaccines can actually be. And, you know, it should be up to the parent to decide whether they want to take that risk. To me, it just doesn't seem right to have the government force it on you because of a hypothetical threat. And I could go through that list and tell you why most of those diseases, most of them, pose absolutely no risk whatsoever. And I don't really see why anyone would need a vaccine for them. But if you're going to look at this article, look at this video. Here's a video of a little baby having her first seizure, which was right after she was vaccinated with the DTP. She ended up severely damaged and died at the age 15 as a result of her injuries from that vaccine. And she was awarded $250,000 from the vaccine court. Her name was Lauren Kane, and she was vaccine damaged. The other concern here is that if this bill passes in California, this will set a precedent. And other states will follow suit, maybe even up in Canada. So far, however, mandatory vaccine bills failed in Oregon and Washington. Well, that's good news, and let's hope this one fails too. So if you want to help it fail, you could go here, where you could learn more about this law and how to oppose it, and how to take action now. The time to make your voice heard would be now, while you have the chance. So if you're living in California, I hope you do take action. I think you know that I'm totally against the government having the right to dictate that. I think that the risk of a government with too much power forcing pharmaceuticals on us outweighs the risk of a few people getting an illness. Because, you know, my son actually had an autoimmune disease. He had a PANDAS or PANS episode, which is, you know, a disease that a lot of people don't really know very much about, and they say it's controversial. For me, that's enough evidence that I shouldn't inject him with anything. I mean, that's like a medical reason, not just a personal belief. But if your kid has some underlying thing, it's kind of maybe hard to prove, or maybe it's not an acceptable reason for medical exemption. So you might deserve one and still not get it. So I think as the parents, you should make that decision with your doctor and not the government. They shouldn't be making it for you. So let me know what you think, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.